So we are going to work on this portrait over 2 sessions. And I think what's nice about it is anybody can pop into the session and still learn something. So one of the things to observe, well, I don't want to do that yet. Here, we're going to start with this as usual. We'll start with the overall structure of the head. I like this one because her hair is kind of wrapped close to her head. So you can see, right, where the skull kind of comes back over the edge of the ear. So I think there's this belief, right, that like the skull, I think the thing that people miss, and I see this in people who try to teach themselves how to draw a 3/4 portrait, is that they don't understand that the skull is actually expanding over the back of the ear. It sticks out farther than the ear. And if you actually run your hand over the back of your head, you will feel it kind of bump out. So from when we have a portrait from the side, we can see it. I'm going to start with these little sort of beginning sketches. This is kind of a Loomis, Andrew Loomis sketch, and then we'll talk about it and I'll help you structure it. As usual, here is the center of the face. Whoops, here we go. Center of the face. So remember what that means. That means here I am, I've divided my face exactly in half. When you're looking at me in half, they're equal, right? This side is equal to that side. But when I start to turn, you'll notice I can see all the features, but this side becomes much more truncated, smaller, things kind of angle up. See that? So this, what looks like halfway, and I haven't moved my pencil, this half becomes much smaller. This half, sorry, becomes much smaller than the other half. So that's an important thing to remember. This is halfway through the face because of the way she's turned. And I think the other hard thing to remember is that nothing is hidden except for the ear. We can't see the ear on this side, but we can see everything else. We can still see the eyebrow, we can still see the eye, we can still see the cheek, we can still see the lips. But the face on this side has a distinctly different shape. All the features on this side have a different shape. Everything is different. So let me begin. We're gonna start with this basic shape. So let's do 1 or 2 more reviews, and then I'm going to help you actually start to sketch this out here. You don't need to be looking at me anymore. And please ask questions if you have questions about this. So from here, this line, notice it curves a little bit, right? It kind of juts out and comes down, but this is basically dividing the face in half. You'll see that if we were to divide the face into thirds, starting at where the hairline begins to the middle of the eyebrow, the nose is in the 2nd third, and the mouth, the lip is in the 3rd third. Okay, and the eye line, I tried to put this below the eye so you could see it a little bit better. You'll see that the eye line, the bottom of the eye line comes at about the halfway point of this third. Addie, do you remember what the rule is about what's the rule that I love so much about the middle, about the mouth? Do you remember?
Yeah, so if you divide from the nose to the chin into thirds, the first third will be where the middle of the mouth is.
That's exactly right. So I'm going to do that right now. And we're all going to do that, right? So this is equal thirds. And this is equal thirds. And then this is really 1, 2, it's like 2.5 on this side, 3.5, 4.5. This is still 5 eyes across. It's just divided up a little differently. We've got 1, here's I2, right? If I were to take this I, 1, 2, and then it's like a half an I. So it's 1.5 from here to here, then 2.5, because we're adding an extra I, 3.5, 4.5. Oh, look at that extra little half is here, 5. Can you see that? So this is also 5 I's across. There's more, but let's start with the kind of basic structure. So we're going to start with this shape. Oh, I've got orange. I just got orange pastel on my paper. Here we go. Sorry, it's a little hard to see. This is kind of like an egg on its side, or maybe a loaf of bread on its side. And then if I want to check the distance, my vertical distance from here, and line it up, you can see the vertical distance from here to here is just slightly short, slightly shorter than the horizontal distance of the eye line. So I can come here and line up maybe bring it up just a little bit. Let me check that. I want this to be a little bit shorter. Yeah. Is that right? No, sorry, it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit, no, wait. Honestly, sorry, let me hold it exactly right. It's almost the same height. The width, the length is almost the same as the width. So I can come here and check my height. Just make sure they're about the same. This distance from here to here is about the same as this line that I'm determining. Then I'm going to draw a line down here. We might adjust this. So then I'm going to divide this into 3 equal. 1, 2, 3 equals thirds. Let's see. 1. That's about right. With this coming in just about halfway between this third and this third. So you know what? Actually, I think the easier thing to do, let's not draw this first. Draw your vertical, let's do this. Draw your vertical line first. So start with this. Just draw your vertical line. That's dividing the center of the face. Just start with that. Divide it into 3/3. Then I'm going to locate the bottom of my thing here. And I'm going to make this line about as wide here as this is high. That makes sense? I think that's the easier thing to do. Don't draw this in this particular case. So just start with that. Start with this. Start with that, this, and this. And I will send this across. And I'd like to see this before you get any further. And if you have any questions, please ask. And Jean, you can make these as big. You're allowed, after that wave painting, you're allowed to do whatever you want in face drawing class. You're allowed to do everything.
When I saw her face, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make, those eyes are, they look enormous to me. So I'm gonna do a Carolyn Keene painting and you're gonna be like, those eyes are too big.
Wait till I get my caricature teacher starting to teach in October. Oh my, Lorelei, wait till you get it. Then you'll get to do whatever you want.
The eyes can be as big as I want them.
Exactly. So I'd like to see this step before you go any further.
Leah,
Yes.
so I was going with you and I did the
Oh, you did the circle?
first. I think I might have it pretty good. Can I send it over? And if it doesn't
Send it
look
over.
good, I'll redo it that way.
You got it. You got it. Okay. 1, 2. I think this is a touch too long, Jean. Nip it in on this side a little bit. Otherwise, it looks good. Yeah, send it over. Yeah, sorry. I usually will have us start by sketching this, but then it occurred to me this is easier to do. It's amazing. It really is about the same. These are about the same. The width and the height. Hey, Mariana.
Hello.
That kind of day, eh? So Mariana, just start by drawing the vertical distance here,
Okay.
right? And dividing it into thirds. And then this vertical distance is about the same as if you go to the middle
Okay.
of this one, it's about the same as that middle distance here. These are about the same,
Okay.
if you'll
Got
see.
it.
So start with that, then go to that.
Alrighty.
Yes, Thursday. Let's see, Addie. Okay. Okay, so Addie, notice this comes over the top of his. That's why I was like, it might be a little confusing. So erase these lines, but let me double check something. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, okay. And then 1. Yeah, the height looks about right. So just scooch it up a little bit higher on this side so that there's a little bit of line. Oh, Andy, I'm sorry. Let me add you. I totally forgot to add you here. I can do that.
Don't
You're in.
apologize. I was a last minute addition. So
I just was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. My head is not in the game today. Anyway, there we are. Okay, so Andy, you're going to want to try to do this. There we go. And Mariana, you go ahead and do that too. You guys are doing a pretty good job of assessing where you think this side of the face is going to be. I'm impressed by that. I feel like everybody's getting better at this whole practice. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. Andy, looks good. All right. So everyone, now that we're here, now you can kind of sketch that circle. It comes up a little higher than here. Do you see this? This comes in down. If I drew the line all the way out, it would go all the way up to here. So And you're actually good. Those of you who bent that a little bit more this way, that's excellent. I didn't really do that on this one. Pull out the handy eraser. Right? Right, because this is the kind of side of her head. So this is the sort of straight part, and then it bends up a little bit here, straight here, and then kind of over here. And then Addie, you're right. This is kind of that flat part of her face. You can also see that this kind of lines up with the nose and about up to here. So to put this circle in, right, you want to line it up with just below the nose and kind of above here.
Do you mean above the halfway point if that?
Yeah,
top-
you can see it. So here, so down here, it's really covering the ear, which kind of comes from here to about here. So you can see if I were to come over here, the circle starts about here, right? And on the top, about halfway. Maybe I made that a little bit too big, just like that. And then remember, the neck kind of comes in. Well, let's finish this first. Then you can come in here. And by the way, I wanted to point out, Jean made a really interesting point last week, which I just didn't understand because I was thinking about things in a different way. One of the things she's pointed out was once we get these shapes in, you two do. Oh, hey, Janet.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Once you get these things in, these shapes in, the lines do get in the way of seeing detail. So you will have to go back to the unmucky up version, right? We will do this, but we will do that. But you're absolutely right, Jean, that is a really necessary part of the process. I don't know what I was thinking, frankly, when I was arguing with you about it. So, like, I just don't know.
Where we were kind of saying the same
The
thing.
same thing, and it was just like, I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong? And then let's see, I think this comes in. Anyway, you were right about that. Janet, your puzzle looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I love it. What are you working on? Are you getting into the pile, getting back to the slush pile?
I am.
Okay, you want to share what you're working on?
I've done a bunch of art lately, but not my stated.
That's
goal.
okay. That's not, it's just sort of an extra thing, right? Just to keep us all on track.
And I decided that for my website, I don't really need these drawings because one of the ones I just finished works pretty well
Right,
for that purpose.
right. I just observed that I made this tie too wide. So notice how notice how easy it is. I guess I want you guys to see how easy it is to make shapes too big. I just did it. I guess this is her ponytail going off on the side there. So notice as I'm correcting, sometimes I'm forgetting. Here, I'm going to put this down here. And I'm also going to send this across the thread. But I do feel like this Loomis thing is really helpful. This is the sort of simplified Loomis structure, Andrew Loomis. And I do think it's really helpful in terms of drawing the face, figuring out where things have to go. Which is, figuring out this line, getting this shape, seeing how the ear, I always love this part, how the ear really comes in at this circle. The ear is so huge. And the neck comes in much more narrowly than we think. Well, we might get farther than I think today, but I like the idea. Mariana, I was just discussing that one of the things we might do is spend 2 sessions on a portrait. Because I like the work that we did with MLK's face, where we looked at the features up close and then tried to. So I think we'll just do what we can to get proportions right here. We'll see how far we get, but I'm sort of planning on taking 2 classes. Okay, sorry, and you just sent that over. Let me take a look. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks excellent. Measurements are on.
I like that idea, Leah, of doing a portrait in two sessions so we can really finish it.
Yeah, so we can finish it and learn, right? Like that's, and I feel like even if somebody missed the first session, they'd still learn something. What we do, Andy and Janet and Addie, I don't know if Addie, you experience this. What we do is we're gonna make the eyes really big, the nose really big, and the mouth really big. And we're going to do them separately before we add them into the portrait. Because this is a little bit smaller, sometimes it's hard to see things. So we can really see the differences in what's happening.
I'm also trying to do them all bigger.
Yeah, bigger, it's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not ready to go I need my glasses to start with.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one thing. And the other thing is that we don't have yet the ability of doing such as very minor small details into the eyes and everything yet. So those are important for like identifying the guy. So,
right, exactly.
Otherwise it doesn't look like the guy to me.
Otherwise it doesn't look like the guy or the gal or whoever, right?
The girl,
exactly. Yes. Yeah. And it's just easy to make things too big, right? That's what I think. All right, Addie, that looks pretty good. The neck, notice how far in the neck comes. It's almost 1 eye length. I guess I should identify the eyes, and then that'll help you, Addie, figure out where to put everything else. I mostly really like this, I should say. I mostly think this is great. You'll still want to bring her head up just a little higher. See? You've got it a little too close. But otherwise great. Oh my God, Jean, great. Okay, we might, so Jean, you guys are, Addie, you and Jean are making me think. This is basically looking good, but I think the neck is too far in. So let's determine, once we have this, I'm gonna and we kind of see that there's 1 eye length between our circle, right? Which is where the side of the head is. Let's see if we can create, let's see, it's gonna be more like, I'm kind of guessing where I think the eye is, and then I'm gonna check it. So I know if I come here and then here, that it'll come to the iris right there. So I come to here, yep. There should be like 1, let's see, 1, 2, maybe like that. 1, 2, and then 1.5, right? And then 1, 2. Should be 1, 2, 3, and then there should be about a half on this side. Let me see if I have 1, 2, 3. So why don't you locate where you think the eyes are as well? They'll be on top of this line. They're not going to be on this line. They're going to be on top of this line. But just the distance from here to here. And see if you can get those in the right places, because then I could take this and go, oh, see, I have to do the same thing. I have to bring my neck in. Because the neck from the chin to here is really one eye length. Once I get my eyes in, I can kind of determine a lot of things. So see, I made my neck a little too thick. She's got this kind of squarish chin. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. I also can see that this doesn't come out much. It doesn't come, you know, it doesn't extend further than the chin. Then I can even, yeah, don't even put your eyes in, just kind of place them beyond this. I1. I2. One, two. No. And notice my eyes are kind of on top of. Without getting too much shaping in. That's really where they are. Here's the eye length, here's another eye length. Here's the eye length. So then you'll be able to correct your chin. And then you can kind of further correct it by seeing, okay, where does the chin line up with? It should line up with, yeah, about here, right? So start by getting your eyes in, and then we can use it to line up a lot of things. Let's see. Okay, 1. All right, that looks pretty good. And Andy, I would say you're going to have to do the same thing everybody else does, right? And that is locate your eyes, your 2 eyes. This is I1. This is from here to here is I2. And then the I4. That will help you locate where the chin goes. But good job, you guys. These are awesome. Yeah, I do really, the thing that's really nice about this class, I mean, it's a lot of measurements and it's tedious, but it is like distracting from thinking about other things, which is sometimes nice.
Hey, Leah, I'm sorry about I have one stupid question again.
Yeah.
So you were saying about the chin and placing the chin in relation.
So
to
you put the neck, your neck is out here.
Yeah, I know
Too
that.
wide, right?
Yeah.
So really your chin needs to come in, but before you locate where your neck ends, you want to get your eyes in first.
Okay.
So once again, if I use Let me mark this out so it can be seen. Here, you know, I'm going to use a marker so you guys can really see this. So here's I1. Here is I, right? That's I1. If I go
Yep.
one eye distance here, it goes to about here.
Yeah.
Right? And so about to where the iris is on the second eye. And then there's about 1/2 an eye here. 1/2 an eye from here to the edge. I come here and I go this way, and this is one eye. And this is one eye. And then there's another 1/2 eye.
Oh, right.
I like
That
on the
part I
other
got.
side.
I was just wondering, like, was there a rule you were saying about placing the neck versus the eyes up above? Is it?
No, it's just in this particular case, this is what's
Okay.
happening. Yeah, there's no, I mean, there's the rule is her chin is jutting out more than you think from her
Gotcha.
neck. So in this particular position, so
Just line it up a little
yeah,
bit.
well,
inside the
if you
beginning
get
of
the
eye.
eyes, if you get the eyes in first, you'll then see, right,
Yeah,
where the eye and the chin line up.
perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Got it.
Yeah, I was just, you know, I'm kind of feeling my way through this as well as you guys, right? So I'm like, okay, which thing do I want to establish first? And definitely in this particular case, it's helpful to establish the eye line where the two eyes are, because it helps to locate other things like the neck, like where the hairline is, right? Because the hairline kind of comes in up here. Like that. So the rule is always, and it may seem like it's different if you're observing, oh my God, sometimes she tells us to establish this first. Sometimes she's established, you're right. I'm telling you different things each time, because sometimes there are easier things to figure out. Right? Sometimes it's easier to figure out, I don't know, like I can already tell I don't really have this hairline correct. We'll work on that. There's a time for everything. Let's see. All right, Addie, that's looking pretty. 1, 2, 3. That's looking pretty good, dear. Go ahead and let's go ahead and locate. So now that you're there, go ahead and locate. And we might have time to do features, at least to start them. And then we'll finish them. So you can see the shape of the nose. You can see where I'm lining it up. So now that you have the eyes and you know where the nose is, you can kind of line it up. Let's see. So the nose comes. So observe exactly where the nose comes. In this particular case, the nose, just double checking, make sure I have this right. So the nose kind of comes right at the third point here, and it lines up with the eye here. So it kind of comes down a little bit below that third point, and then it comes, is that right? Nah, it's more straight. There we go. And then it comes up. Up to the eyebrow. The nose is kind of there. It comes a little bit below the third point. The eyebrows line up with this point. She's got pretty thin eyebrows. And then, yes, the mouth is like, let's see. One, two, three. Yep. If I do thirds here. 1, 2, 3.
¿Qué pasó?
The middle mouth line. Comes to about here. Comes just past. That middle lip line, then I can, well, we'll determine that and then we'll go. And then there's this little right kind of shape for the ear. The hair comes around the edge. How it always starts. Might have to bring our eye up just a little bit. Yeah, Mariana, looks pretty good. 1, 2, excellent. Good. Good. Yeah, well, let's just then keep going. Get your eyebrows in. Be thinking about, even though we haven't really, done the eyes, think about these, right? 2 shapes. There's the upper lid line and the lower one. She's got a prominent upper lid line and also quite a bit. That's kind of the shadow of the nose. And then at some point, once we get that, actually, we might just go over to features. We'll at least deal with eyes, and we'll move back to where we can see everything. Things like this are still super hard for me to see. I'm amazed at how much they can make a big difference in likeness, kind of getting the outside shape of the head. You think, I could just throw the eye line, the hairline in anywhere, but it's really not true. If it doesn't have exactly the right shape, it looks weird. Yes, so I'm very excited. I'm getting some great stuff for so we have 3 more Procreate classes in May and June. And then we're going to do printmaking at home, which I am very, very, very excited about. This is going to be a great class. This is my teacher, Lado Pochqua, my friend and my teacher. You guys will get to meet him finally. The one who talked about foxes and pig noses. And his kids are pretty young. So he developed this course with them in mind, but really he's going to try and teach a bit of art history. He's going to try and do a little bit of everything. he knows a lot about art history. He's incredible. Besides being a really good artist, he's very, very well versed in art history. So each lesson will focus on a different artist, and it's going to be really amazing. And then from October to December, my friend Lorelei, who is actually a professional caricature artist, is going to teach us how to do caricature animals and caricature faces, and they are adorable. Like, look at this. I'll send you over a couple of samples. They're so cute. So I'm very, and then Jessica Pryor has promised to teach a 4-session copy of Master Portrait in Oil in January. So we should be totally ready for that. It's going to be awesome.
I can't get the nose.
Yeah, the nose is tricky. I have a little trouble with it too. So start with, here's the shapes you want to start with. It kind of goes at an angle. It kind of goes like this, square, out, up, and in.
Okay, well, maybe I didn't get it as bad as I thought.
Yeah, it feels weird, but yes, I believe she is a fox. So you can see, she's definitely a fox, but you can see her nose kind of comes down a little bit, right? From the nostril. Otherwise the nostril would be, and I think that's what's kind of confusing. We can see, like, once you get that shape in, it's better, but it's almost like there's several angles. There's like this angle, then there's this angle, then there's this little angle, and there's that angle. There's another little angle here too. It comes in here. But you can't really see that because of my silly marks. So we'll grab that more cleanly on the next one, on the next sort of round, once we get through this. If you want to, then you can get the shape of the, now remember, we're not going to get too much into the details of the faces. But remember, the shape on this side is more angled, is shorter and much more angled up than the half on this side that we can see. Right, when you look at the shapes. And also remember that this little dark line comes out just a touch longer than the lip. The meat of the lip, the top of the bottom. The center line comes out a little bit. Oh, did I freeze? What happened? Can you guys hear me?
No.
You can hear me. Oh yeah, I just froze for a second. Yeah, Jen, I just realized my little Wi-Fi extenders are blinking red, which means they're not working. Have you ever had that happen?
No.
Let's see, Jane, 1, 2. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, Jean, that looks pretty good. Addie, that looks pretty good too. Good job, you guys. Although something looks off. Addie, the nose is, let's see. 1, 2. Bring the mouth down a little bit further. Bring the mouth line just a little bit down further. Addie, and actually you need to bring your nose down just a touch further. So I don't know if you can see it. Here's the center. Here's where the third starts. Right here, here, right, and there. And the nose comes down below it. And so the lip comes down a little bit. Did the nose feel a little short to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, oh, okay. And the major problem is your eyebrows aren't in the right place. Your eyebrows are supposed to be here, lined up with this first third. So,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, I'll change.
That's why that's why everything looks too scrunched up. Your eyebrows need to start here at that first third. And remember, the last third should be here, and that's where the hairline is. And then hair goes a little bit above it. Right now you have your hairline kind of floating. It's so easy for this to happen. Don't feel bad about it. Like I mean, it's just really easy to kind of lose your way here. This is the top, this is the second, here is the thirds, right? Now you can really see them. Yours is kind of you have yours kind of floating up here. Your hairline comes on top. On top of this third. Hello, Muka. Come on up. But great job. I mean, this is super hard. Let's see. Okay, 1, 2. So Andy, I'd say the same thing. Bring the nose a little bit down, just a little. It kind of goes at an angle slightly below. I know these things don't seem like they make a lot of difference. Here's the third mark. Here's the third mark, right? Right here and right here where the stars are. Notice the nose comes down a little bit lower. Kind of comes at an angle slightly below. Also, Andy, look at the shape. The shapes of the eyebrows are totally different. On this side, look at this shape compared to this shape. And look at it in relation to where the center line is, right? Look at that shape. That's because we can't see the whole thing. We can only see this much, and then we can see it as it starts to turn down, then it kind of scrunches up. So don't try to make them equal because they are not. Notice the space between them. If you're struggling, if you guys are struggling with this, you might want to sketch in these shadows and light shapes of the nose. That might help. Andy, you'll be happy to know I did my first thing with NBC last week, and it went really well. I had to teach a 5-minute lesson at the DEI coffee.
Oh,
They hold for
wow.
managers. Yeah, they loved it. They're like, what? At first I thought I had 30 minutes and I was like, well, that's a short lesson. And then they're like, no, you have 5 minutes. Better, Addie, better. And Addie, you too, look at the relationship. It went really well. So we're aiming. So now I'm going to speak to a few, I'm going to do classes for a couple other groups and it's going to be happening shortly. Only a year and a half after we started talking about it. I have to say though, I'm very impressed with how they find the team they've finally gotten to be able to put together. It's a really neat team.
Well, that's great to hear. And if any of them are ones that are, general that are open, I'll be glad to see if I could hop in.
Yeah. I'll let you know as soon as I know.
There's so many emails that fly around that are corporate related that it's easy to do
Yes.
something like that.
That's why we're trying to kind of bring it through a few departments at a time, right? Just find a few managers who feel like this is something they want to build into their into their team's schedule, because we think it'll be easier for them to promote within their team, right? Rather than trying to push something company-wide. But yeah, of course, anything I do with them, you're welcome to join. So when we get stuff scheduled, I'll let you know. It's happening. It's totally happening.
Yay.
Yay.
As opposed to this drawing, which is not happening.
It's happening, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it happening? Janet, you want to send us what you're working on, or are you not ready yet?
Not ready.
Okay, when you're ready, let me know. Janet has a whole year-long assignment for those of you. She's got lots and lots of things to work on. So she is busy. She has a lot of assignments. I remember after Janet had been taking lessons for 3 years, I told her that she had to add another 3 to 6 hours a week to her schedule. And she was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. And now, do you remember that? The way you just looked at me, it was like, you're like, yeah, no fucking way. And now she does she probably does triple that amount.
Now I'm
It's
like, how can I get rid of all this work I have to do? So
Exactly. How can I just do this all day?
Right? Well, you
Marianne has
can.
figured it out.
What's that?
Have you heard about Marianne?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she quit Reuters.
she figured it out.
She figured it out. Yep. Well, I mean, the jury is still out, right? I mean, I thought I had figured it out after 5 or 10 years, and I'm still having a rough spring. So it just depends, like as long as you can deal with the ups and downs of income, you can do it. But it's rough when it's still very up and down. And that's the tough part about it.
Well, it helps to have an extra house that you don't need to live in, that you can rent
That you
out.
can rent out.
That's exactly right. Well, it's not an extra house, but it is a house.
Oh, no, Marianne.
Oh, Marianne has an extra house. Yes.
At the moment, it's an extra house for her.
Yeah, but they still have to pay for both houses, don't they?
They're renting out her house.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does help, but believe me, it's still not enough. I mean, I have an extra house that I have a house that I rent out 3/4 of, and they're just still months. I think that's the thing I'm really learning is just how cyclical the earning cycles are in art and art related activities. There are times when people are spending money and there are times when they aren't. Addie, that's looking pretty good. I feel like, now let me look. I just want to make sure 1, 2, 3. I feel like her hair, Addie, is coming down a little bit too low, but it might be because it's hard to look at this shape. I'm wondering if at this point, it might be helpful. I'm gonna bring, not only am I gonna bring this out, but I thought maybe we might turn things upside down for a minute. You guys have a picture of our source. Let's take our picture upside down. And then let's look at, so Addie, look at, without all this garbage in there, right, that I put in to help you. To help, I'm just trying to help. Take a look at some of these shapes. I think you will see, if you put this down, look at this shape, really pay attention to this shape. This shape to help you shape the ear, where the hair goes, where the neck is. Do you see that? So I feel like this is coming down a touch too low. Maybe it's not, it might be more this issue. It might be more the shape of the ear and the hairline a little bit. Also, you can start to erase some of these lines, the construction lines, because they also might be distracting and getting in the way. So maybe get rid of some of those so we can really see these shapes. Is that helpful? This isn't messing anybody up, is it?
No, it's helping.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is the truth about all drawing. It's like it's a comparison game. You establish a certain set of points and then you just work. You work from them. Yeah, I'm finding it helpful too, in terms of seeing what's going on kind of here. If you want to do something a little bit, let's see. So Andy, you can, I think you can see if you turn this upside down that your cheek is coming out too far. It's more angled in. It's just, yeah. So your cheek is coming, I'm just gonna draw it so you can see it. Your cheek is coming out here. And then it comes in kind of narrowly, which makes her look a little bit larger. So you want to try narrowing this shape. And then it's a little tougher to see than I thought. Okay, I'm not going to put too many lines, but I'm going to put a contour line so you guys can see it. Right. This shape is really important. I guess these are pretty important too. This isn't messing around with anybody's ability. Well, I can always make another copy. Right. So let's see, what corrections can I make here? This needs to flatten a little bit more. Oh, I have her ear too long. I had too much ear here, so I was losing some of this upper neck shape. It's a little bit better. Yeah, you're gonna love Lorelai's work. Check this out. She sent it to me yesterday. So cute. Look at, we're gonna start with like stuff like this. So cute. Better, Andy. So now you want to do this all the way around, right? Get rid of that circle and try to get the shape of the hair,
Right.
that head right, which is tricky. So
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at it upside down and it'll help.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So check that out. Did you guys see I sent it? Like some of the stuff that Lorelai does. Here's more. She does these like fun little caricatures. She's going to show you how to do stuff like that. Should be really fun.
Oh, those kitties are so cute.
Aren't they the cutest? So she's been doing birds and kitties lately. And I've been like, send me some of those. And let's start with that. So she's going to show you guys how to do in that sort of style.
Cool. When does that start?
That'll be October. So we've got a summer of printmaking in different artistic styles first.
Is Lorelai teaching on Thursday?
She'll be teaching on Sunday mornings, like 10
Okay.
o'clock your time. Are you in church then?
It depends on how long the class is.
It's like
I don't think I'll be able to make it, so.
Oh, shoot, Addie, because you would really love it. But you know, you can get the
Yeah.
videos. I'll talk to
If it
your
was
mom.
at 9, I could definitely do it, but
It's at 9, but here in the Pacific Northwest, it's 10 o'clock your time. I don't think I can bring it down to 8 o'clock, but I'll
Yeah.
talk to your mom. I'll talk to your mom about it. I'll tell her you want to do it.
okay.
I know you guys have church on Sunday, but
Yeah.
there's a lot. This is a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's good though. I'm even noticing, as I come in here. So funny how much time we spend sort of fiddling around with placing things, isn't it? This is what it is. There's like that kind of time. And then there's the time we spend kind of creating the effects we want. By the way, if you get to this point, you can darken your hair. Remember, don't try to draw every hair. You're just going to kind of go dark with this little light part here. Don't try to draw all of her hair, every single hair. Don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because number one, you can't. And number two, that's just an exercise in futility. It doesn't look right. You can see here, I'm just kind of covering up this whole area with dark. Because this is the darkest part. Unless a person has gray hair, and this is true for all skin tones and colors that I've observed, in which case the hair is lighter than the skin tone, always. The hair is almost always darker, even if it's blonde, even if it's only if it's gray that it's actually lighter. I think that's why we notice it so much, why gray hair looks so cool. Right, guys? Gray hair looks cool, right?
Gray hair looks cool.
Gray hair looks cool, right? Okay.
One of my coworkers asked me where I got my hair colored.
You don't get your hair colored, do you?
No, I let it.
It's
I was
just
like,
beautiful.
over COVID, I let it go gray.
It looks fantastic. I love it. And if you want to, you can also get this down here. Let's see. It's coming along, Andy. Get rid of all your lines and get the shape. I think it's good. I think at this point, I feel like your ear might be slightly, let's see. I'm looking here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll see that the hairline, if you come here and you look, you'll see the hair, this is where the eye ends and the hairline kind of comes in here. So really work on shaping your hairline. I think this is good. Everything looks pretty good though. I like it. It's coming.
This may sound really weird, but probably used to that for me by now. So I actually want to keep my lines in because I put a lot of notes on the margins.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, keep your lines in. Keep your lines in.
So this way
You're
I could use
absolutely
this
right.
as a reference for when we go forward in other ones.
Yes, and let me send you a couple of other references. I've got them. They are further down the thread. They're what's his name? Is it Andrew or Richard Loomis? It's Andrew Loomis. Here somewhere. Book. I can't find his face. Anyway, it's Loomis is an illustrator who really creates this 1/3, 1/3 circle structure here. So I'll send you a couple of plates across the thread that you will really, that if you really want to practice this, you can copy. We did them earlier in the year. So the lessons are there, but there are also a lot of, here, let me just find them and stop talking. Give them to you. And if you guys think you can go ahead and leap ahead, right? Those of you who are like at the point, who've been doing this a while, who are at the point, please do leap ahead, but still know that we're not really going to finish these until we do the focus on features next week. So go as far as you can, but we're really going to focus on that. My suggestion is that you really work on these outer shapes. first. Where are we? Mariana, I was just looking at your Tesla portrait. He does look so troublesome. He looks like such a
I know, I love every time that I see him.
he is so saucy.
The ooh baby guy.
Yeah, the oh baby guy. Exactly. Exactly. I know I'm sure he is a little bit that way, but I was just remembering we were talking about how each one has a slightly different thing. Okay, hang on. Let's do this. All right. So something like this. I'm going to bring it forward so you have it again. This is a Loomis. Now I have to find it again. All right. Before. We did that one. We did. Oops, nope. This one. Somewhere I have it. I should just take the pictures. Here, hold on. Miss, where are you? Give me just a second. You guys keep working and I'm gonna look. Okay. Andrew. So these plates are all coming from this book. Hey, buddy. Oh, wait out there. This is the name of the book and the illustrator who has kind of pioneered this technique. And we have worked on these plates. His descriptions I find kind of painful, but his plates, copying the plates really is helpful. And we spent a couple of weeks really just working on these drawings. So they're all in, we have them recorded. I really love this book. This is one of my favorite plates from the book. Look at, they show you the 3/4 face like it's like a building. It's really helpful. And then he does this thing where like he shows you, he's an illustrator. So he shows you kind of how to do eyes in different shapes. And it's really incredible. I should have us do a few. Here's expressions. I mean, it's really incredible.
Are you suggesting that like maybe we'd want to get this book to,
You could just start by trying to copy the plates that I
Okay.
sent. Yeah, and many of the plates are what was I gonna say? We have done them in class, so you can go back to previous classes. I think in March and April, we did these. Why don't you show, oh, yes.
I think
Oh,
I got her.
Jean,
If,
I
if
think you got her.
she was shot at a wide angle lens. I just made everything too wide.
Yes, so bring it in. So let's see,
Or
bring it
put
in.
some.
So part of bringing it in is to, I think this is a little bit, this is too wide.
I can't
Right.
see what you're doing.
This shape is, so you can't see where I'm pointing?
I couldn't before because you had your hand over it.
Look at this.
Yeah.
So look at the shape of the neck, way too wide.
Mhm.
Right? And that is what's throwing everything off here. So this part of the neck should line up with the eye. And this part of the neck, let's see, and then let's see, the neck should be, it should come in. Oh yeah, you added more hairline here. So you kind of poofed her out here.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't want to sketch all over this one too. Maybe if I try some yellow lines. I want you to look at the right shapes of the different elements. So there's your kind of light area. But you're right, Jean. I think it's a lot better. I agree. I'm just trying to kind of sketch out some, we'll work more on it too next week, but
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to sort of show you the shapes.
I think my oval got too wide to start with.
It really did.
And
So
then-
bring in the hairline, but try and get these shapes. But I feel like this is a huge leap for you. So I think it's, yeah, your oval just got so wide, too wide. So focus on these shapes. So this is dark, this is light, that's dark, right? Medium, dark. Focus on these shapes right here. And I think that will help you kind of thin her out. So you need to bring her hairline in. If you bring her chin in, if you get her neck the right width,
Yeah, that's already helped.
right, then you can get this shape in. So you're working this shape. So then you can see where her neck curves up right here. Right, so then you bring the hairline, but it's hard to kind of locate where the hairline is. It's funny, it's good though. You did good. You're really, and you didn't make her hair.
I
You
did
didn't
too much
make
of-
her eye, you didn't make her eyes too big, which is what you were worried about.
That's because that was my my whole focus was don't make the eyes too big.
It's too big, right?
Doe eyes, don't make them too big.
Don't make them too big. So like I said, we're going to go as far as you can, but then do what Jean's doing, kind of stop, rework some of these areas, and we'll go in detail and in depth into the features next week. And then we're going to do them separately, and then you can come in and deal with them. Then you can add them into your drawing. Although I'm curious to see what everybody's working on. I like seeing you go forward and back. It's kind of like we're going forward and backward. Janet, we are traveling this weekend, but then I will be back in figure drawing next week. Locked in. So I am only just sort of absent for a moment.
We're doing it Monday afternoon this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I might join you for that. It depends on what's going on this end. So, well, I know I'm looped in on all the emails, but I will definitely come as soon as I can for sure next week. It's just been a lot of traveling. I'll be right back. Send me where you're at. I'd love to see it. Yeah, we were talking last night about like Diana Langeas was asking me what the meaning of slow food was. And I'm like, well, it's not just not fast food. it's a way of approaching your food where you take the long route to doing it. So I like to think of these art classes as like slow food, slow art, as opposed to, you know, where we quickly try to get things. It's more like we're taking it slowly so that we can get things right. Is that how you guys would define slow food? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think slow food is taking your time to prepare it. Maybe you're even growing it. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, coming along, Andy, coming along. Go ahead and darken her hair so that you can see it, right? Like the shape. It'll help you to get like that hair pretty dark. It's looking pretty good to me though. Although look at this shape, this dark shape here, look at how it shapes this bit of the neck that we see. See how it comes up a bit and sort of thins out the neck up here. That really helps give her a kind of this weird little swoopy collar kind of defines her neck for us in a very particular way, which is helpful to sort of show its slenderness. Which is weird because it's not her neck, it's actually the thing she's wearing.
Like there should be flamenco music playing with this photograph.
Right? She has that look. Okay, not too bad, Addie. So I would tell you also, I'm really liking a lot about this. I like how you did your mark making with the hair too. So I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Andy. Look at how this collar comes up and creates this beautiful little thinned out area of her neck and then a thicker part of her neck. See that? So use that to shape her neck, and that will help you kind of shape, totally get this right, and then bring her neck in just a little bit more. These are all tiny little, just so that you know, these are tiny little things. Like your neck is about here, right? It should come in here.
Okay.
Right? These are such tiny little issues. They're not like big ones. Do you feel good about this one?
Yeah.
Like you didn't miss it. This is great. I think everybody's doing really well with these. Let's see. Oh, Jean. Yeah. Yeah, you got her, Jean. This might be your best portrait yet. Although not, I feel more is to come. It's wonderful. Don't you feel pleased?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And we'll work more.
I still think she's a little wide, but
she is a little wide. We'll work more on features and on correcting those. We'll just keep working. I want you to just kind of, I like how you got the shape of, we're going to work on features next week, so I'm not going to push too much. It's small things, right? It's small things. So we'll practice the features big and then you'll go back and modify your drawing. So just keep working. But beautiful work, everybody. Super. I mean, I think you have to think about where everyone started on this journey and where you are now. It's impressive. And Andy, I know it's been a while since you've drawn faces, but don't you feel like it's all, I know you're like, I know how you are. So I know you're not going to like give yourself much credit, but, but don't you see that like some of what you learned is still there? You're kind of like, you're able to jump. This is not, I would not call this a beginning class in any way, but you have some knowledge. And so it builds upon itself. And every mistake we make builds upon itself, right? Like all of it, like one day I think I'm going to get together each of your drawings because I have them all on WhatsApp and put them all together for you so you can see the trajectory of improvement. It's remarkable. And I can see that you have somewhere in there, you're remembering, you know, you're building upon the skills that you already have.
Showing our old drawings sounds vaguely like extortion.
Oh, has he got your number?
He's got my number. I don't have to show you your drawing.
He is vicious. Do not trust her.
What, me?
I've heard that evil laugh before.
Yeah, I had a student who said that. Many of my students have said, oh, Leah laughs when everybody's at the edge of their, like, I laugh when you're at the edge of what you know and you're losing it. I think the idea is to make you feel like don't worry so much about it. But you know, in reality, I laugh because I know, because I'm there with you. Like, you guys think I'm like, I don't really know that much more than you do. I'm just a few steps ahead, and I can feel it. I know it's so hard. There are days where it's like, oh my God. I look at paintings and I'm like, what am I going to do with you? What? Honestly, what am I going to do with you? What are we going to do? Janet, I'm sure that's how you're feeling about your drawing right now. Like, what am I going to do with you?
I started all over. That's what I'm doing.
Really?
Yeah,
I loved Lee's piece.
that was
That
fun.
was really nice. He seemed to enjoy it too. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Jean. Yep. You made her thinner.
It's still not perfect, but it's better.
It's really close. And when we work on, and I like how you've got the eye, the sort of shape and the angle of the eyes. I like how you've kept the nose really loose. There'll be a few more things you're going to add to it when we work on those features bigger, but not that much. And we'll talk about shading as well. That is something that we will definitely talk about. Because that's harder to see. I was just noticing, I thought it was, well, you can see it actually. You can see the shading on her.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of, we haven't, that's what I feel like is that and if you guys want to, you can also try and sketch in this shading. So you'll see, if you want to, right? Notice all the pieces of the nose that are all these different shades. Let's see. It's kind of shaded here. It's shaded here. It's much lighter here. Look at how this little light area. We're going to practice adding this little highlight that goes onto the bottom of the nose, which is pretty hard to see here. Here's the shading. So I've kind of outlined the shading here. If you want to attempt to get some of it in like Gina's done, this is a great moment to do that. because we have about 15 minutes left. And it will help you kind of make her face look thinner. Still, I'm pleased. Hey, you better show JFog this one. He's gonna be really jealous.
He has to see everything. poor
Yep.
guy. I always
Yep.
do.
He's gonna be jealous of this one. Got about 10 minutes left. We do have 2 classes this Sunday. We do have, as usual, our painting class on Friday, drawing on Saturday. Procreate is on Sunday morning or sort of early afternoon. And then I'm gonna definitely hold the painting studio class on Sunday afternoon, evening. So if you guys want to jump in on that, please feel free. All the classes are going. Same with next week.
I think I got her mouth better now.
Let's see. Yes. Addie, it's looking pretty good. I like how you added your shading in, and I like how you changed this. So Addie, I think her mouth needs to extend. If you look here and you see the edge of her mouth on this side comes almost to the tip of the nose. Not quite, but I think her mouth on the right.
Okay.
So try that. Oh yeah, there we go, Andy. Starting to come. Yep, yep, yep. This is good. So this is a great place to stop. Just looking at it upside down. You guys, this is killer. Killer. Jean. Killer. I'm so happy. This is great. Take one more look. Take one more look, see if there's one more change you can make, but know that we are going to work on this for one more week. So just send it wherever it is, spend another minute, see, is there one more thing you can do? Is there one more change you can make? Just look at it. A lot of art making is standing and looking, believe it or not. Like it is part of the slow art process of looking to see what can I do? What looks off, and then trying to figure out what it is. That's a lot of the process. So take a moment. Like I said, we'll work on this for one other week. Take a moment to just look and see, is there one more thing in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes of class? Is there one more thing we can do? Is there one more thing I can do? Janet, you keep on working. Are you, do you have anything else to do tonight, Janet? Do you have meetings or anything?
No,
Yay. You
a
just keep
rare
on working.
Thursday off.
I was going to say, we don't see you very much anymore.
I'm just always on meetings.
Yeah.
I have one night next week. I'm triple booked.
Oh my God. Is it all church stuff?
A lot of it is.
Mhm. Yay, Addie. Great work. Great, great work. What I really feel you guys have all gotten, and we'll get more to this next week, is you're starting to get where the pieces are. And you can see how much that leads to personality, you know, like I'm excited. This is great.
You know what else really helps?
What?
Turning on a light. As it's gotten darker and darker, I'm like, oh, I turn on the light and I can see.
Right. Go ahead, you guys. Send this over. Yeah, there you go. It is a lot easier, particularly to see these little areas. Okay, go ahead and send in wherever you're at. It doesn't matter where, just wherever you're at. And we will continue this next week. In fact, I'm going to remove the spotlight, and I'd love you to hold it up so we could see it. Put yourself in gallery view and hold it up. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mariana. Yep. Everybody. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Janet, are you going to share? No, you don't have to.
No.
Okay. You can look up for a minute and look at what everybody else is doing though, yeah?
Oh yeah, those are, wow, Jean, that's great. Look at
Aren't
all
they
those.
great? Everybody's
Oh,
doing great. All right. They're really killing it. Okay, so turn off the recording.